Can you guys see the screen? And you can hear me? Can everybody hear me? Okay, well, that's good. Wallace Gifford. Okay. So, well, we're a couple minutes away, but so I'll just hang tight. And if everybody can hear me, we're just today's going to be kind of a very targeted presentation, but in my opinion, it's the most important part because it's the reason this strategy makes money. And it seems that people are afraid of pay-per-click. They're afraid they'll lose a lot of money using it, and a lot of people do. So I'm just going to talk about one of the niches. I've got the spreadsheet open. We'll get to in a little bit, and explain why the formula works. And if you as a member, if you would like to try this on another niche, you can go out and just do research yourself and use the same formula, and it'll tell you how easy or hard it is to make money. So that's what I'll be talking about today. And it is 2 o'clock, 1 minute after. Let's see. Yes. Not big enough, huh? Okay. Can you see the screen? Yeah, it's right. Yeah, it looks like it's capturing the the PowerPoint slide, which they're all the same size, and and it is recording. Right. Yeah, this just I've heard your voice before. Okay. Valerie's the famous person that I'm down here in the South, even though I'm originally from Cincinnati. So I got some Midwestern in me, and I've gotten kind of accustomed to the South. They're a little bit different down here, but I like them. I like the people here, and the Midwestern people are great too. So And that's the great part about this business. You can really go all over the country with it, and it works. So, does it look like? Okay, let's get started. Hello, everybody. You see my ugly mutt there on the page, and just tells a little bit about me and what I've been doing for the past few years. Chiropractor for about 16 years, and then got out and kind of retired for a while. Played golf, tried to make it on the senior tour, didn't quite make it, and decided just to do marketing, which has always been my first love, in advertising. So got down to California, the Carolinas, and went back to school, took a bunch of software and hardware courses, and aced them all. Took the CompTIA programs right after just taking one course, and got certified in that quickly. And then I just started. I've been doing online marketing for about 6 or 7 years, but for some reason, my ability to generate new clients for businesses has always been a passion of mine, and so now I think that I've got one of the best ways, if not the best ways, how to generate real clients for businesses online. I have yet to find a faster or better way to generate high numbers of clients for businesses, but I'm always looking for something better. So I do online lead generation. I've stabbed at some other digital products, more related to technology, and the latest one has been the best one, mainly because of my great partners that I had. And so today, I believe the most important thing that I've discovered by doing this for some time now is making money, selling new clients or new patients to certain types of businesses. And most people that have tried pay-per-click lose money. A lot of big companies are still using pay-per-click and spending a lot of money. They have such a large budget, sometimes they don't even worry that much about a lot of profit from their lead gen, and they pay a lot to Google for pay-per-click. They're just getting new clients in and hoping to resell them through the years and make them a loyal customer. But smaller businesses, they have more of a need for immediate cash flow. And so that's kind of why this whole strategy was developed. I've had some questions in the tickets come through. They just don't seem to understand pay-per-click and how you can use it to make money. And so that's what I'd like to go over today, is why it works and how you can take it on and try other niches, not the 12 niches that I've worked with, but you can test it out on other niches that you want to see if you can make money at it. So I'm going to go through it a little bit, in detail, and if you still don't understand it, be sure to ask a question. So I found that, of course, a niche is basically a type of business, and of course, cities. We just tested 450 cities across the country. There are more cities. You can even go into smaller cities than the cities on our list. The search volume will be lower, and that's what everybody pretty much knows. Is the bigger the city, the higher the search volume, but almost always the higher the competition too. And then So the niche plus a city plus doing pay-per-click the right way, which is setting it up for just phone calls or primarily phone calls and not clicks, is also foreign to most people. They don't quite understand because Google wants us to have a lot of clicks because they make money with clicks. They don't make money when somebody calls a phone number in an ad. So they don't tell anyone that people will call from a phone number on an ad. And I don't blame them because they don't make any money that way. But that's what I found. And when I saw that happen, that's when I decided that this is a very good way to make money, and that's why I brought it out to show other people that it does work. So let's get into the specifics a little bit. And you can see the screen, and it's just a very simple, it's not any crazy algorithm or anything that you need to know physics to understand. It's just basically what happened when I started tracking clients' results in these particular niches. And I guess people don't understand that you don't have to get lots and lots of clicks to get a phone call in a particular niche that is needed somewhat desperately by a local client. And that's the real difference, is the more desperate they are for a particular service, the less time they're going to shop. Shopping online is where people lose money with pay-per-click, because the more they shop, the more they look, the more they click, the more money you're going to lose or spend, and it all goes to Google. So you want to set up your ads, your landing page for an immediate response, which is they dial the phone number and call either your business or your client's business. So this is pretty simple here. I've had clients that when you do a search in a Google keyword tool, it gives you global searches and it gives you local searches. Well, this is based on local searches, and an approximate percentage of those searches you can kind of expect to get over a month's period of time for a client if you're in one of these niches. So, I've had clients that have only had 600 or 700 searches a month, and they still got 50 or 60 calls a month. I've had other clients that have had 2,000 or 3,000 searches on that particular keyword a month. And if that particular city was a big city and there was a lot of competition, even though the search volume was 3 times as much, it might have only produced 10 or 15 calls because your competitors are right there trying to take all your clicks and try to take your position. And it never seems to be nearly as profitable. So a few of the niches do work in almost every city. I would say out of 450, 350 of the cities, let's see, towing for sure will work in every city. Urgent care will just about work in every city. Locksmiths will not work in every city. It really doesn't work in any big city because it's just way too competitive. The cost is too high, and the return on what you can charge for a lead is too low. So that doesn't work at all. Probably mobile mechanics work in every city. Plumbers don't work in every city. The cost is too high in the big cities. Water damage does not work in every city, even though it can still work in a large city, but you'll be paying about $15 to $20 a click. But the clients make $3,000 to $4,000 on one lead, so they're more than willing to pay you a lot of money. You only need to get about 3 or 4 of those a month for a water damage client, and you're set. And probably the emergency dentist and the emergency vet, they work in most every city. Bail bonds work in about half the cities. So that's kind of a rough overview of most of the niches where they will work and won't work. But even at that, there's plenty of cities, and in a minute we're going to go over one of the niches, which is the urgent care niche, because it is so profitable that it's a good example of when everything falls into place. So we can come back to this slide, but is there anyone that does not understand any part of this real simple little formula here? If there is, just type something into the box, and maybe Jeff can answer it. Each portion here? Okay. Okay, so this 5% of the local niches, and my next slide, I got a slide right out for urgent care, equals the amount of calls you can expect. So if the search volume is 1,000 a month, 5% would be 50 calls, and the click cost is what you're going to pay for a click, and of course that is real easy to get from the Google keyword tool. So, but it's never that much, because especially with these niches, you get up to the first, second, or third position, and the more clicks you get, the lower your costs go. So that's why I didn't say 100%, I just said 75%. So if the click cost on your research is, say, $8, well, probably the most you'll ever pay would be like $6, and probably less than that. So this is really a conservative number here in these particular niches. And it's kind of the opposite sometimes in big cities. You'd actually pay more than what your research shows. In smaller cities, you'll pay less. And so basically it's a business, the income minus your cost equals your net profit. So we're going to show that on the next slide, which is right here. And this is just a snapshot of the top city niches, top cities for urgent care. On the left here, you got the keywords. And basically the keywords, I just have one keyword per city usually here. Of course, when you set up a campaign, you'll have a lot more keywords, but these are the main search keywords for a niche. And a good place to start, if you're trying to test your own niche that's not one of the 12, you could add the city and the niche in, and then just copy and paste those 450 city plus niches in the Google keyword tool, and this is what's going to come up. And a good place to start without wasting your time would be this column right here. If you test 100 niches in the Google keyword tool, 95% or more are going to have competition in here of, I mean, usually I see like, 80 to 100% competition. And when you see that in this column, just forget it. Just move on, because it's just going to be too hard. Because usually you'll see over to the side here, the cost per click is going to be high, particularly in the large cities. But this particular screen has, as they say, the perfect storm. Only this is the perfect cost to income proposition. It's perfect because you have clients that make, on a new client, probably the least would be, $150, and upwards, to thousands on a new client. So they can pay, easily $20 to $30 for a new client. And the monthly searches. Here's the global. This column here is the local, and yeah, they're about the same because every keyword here has a city attached to it. So there's no global, just generic keywords. Every city here has a city attached to it. So it's kind of like a local search. So this column, you'll see, there's some cities in here like Columbia. This would be Columbia, South Carolina. It's about an hour and a half from me. Well, that competition is 0.33%. It's even hard to find competition that low. And when you see that, you're almost automatically going to know that the cost per click is going to be low. That's just the way it is. Not always, but almost always. So, and $1.89. Well, you're probably going to pay $1 a click for that. That's unbelievably low. And the amount of searches is high. So when you set up a site for this particular city with urgent care, it's almost impossible not to make money. As I said, the only way you don't make money is if your client doesn't pay you. Other than that, you're gonna make money, and it just depends on how aggressive you are with the position of your pay-per-click ad, which you need to be 1, 2, or 3. They say number 1 is worse because you get a lot of fake clicks on there. So it doesn't matter. 2 is fine. Probably 2 is the absolute best position. 3 is good. 1 is okay, fine too. You have to be on the 1, 2, or 3 upper left-hand corner because that's where people click. And in this particular case, about 30 or 40% of the time, they won't click on the ad. They would just call the phone number. And of course, in the training, I go over how you have to have the phone number in the ad. And, there's the 2 easiest ways to get the phone number in the ad while we're at it is just an extension. Google has about 5 or 6 different ad extensions you can use. One of them is a phone number extension. And the second way is to, if you have a client, actually the best way to make it stand out, it's more work, is to take the client and make sure they have a Google Plus account. If they don't, it's very easy to set up, and just make sure when you set that up, you have an address and a phone number, and you can integrate, when you set up the campaign, you can integrate that Google Plus account with your pay-per-click campaign. And if you do it right, then when the ad shows, right below the ad, it will have your Google Plus address and phone number. So you've got everything in that type of ad. You've got the ad with a great headline, which is one of the best headlines that I use is number one. So for, say, Columbia urgent care, I would say number one urgent care clinic in Columbia. That would be the headline. And you don't type out number one, you use the hash number one. Number one, that would be the headline. And then in the body, you want some call to action. No waiting time. If your doctors are board certified, no wait time, board certified doctors, immediate appointment, call now, doctors on staff, just anything that says when they see the phone number, call now. So you could actually have the phone number in the header, as a phone extension, and the phone number below the ad in the Google Plus ad. So you'd have it made. And many times you will be the only ad with a phone number in the ad. And if that's the case, you got it. About 30 to 40% will call from the phone number. Another 30% of the people are going to call from a mobile phone. And that's also very good because the cost for a click from a smartphone is about approximately now 20% less than the click on a laptop or desktop. So, if you're paying $5 a click for a desktop, you'll pay about $4 for the same click, or sometimes less on a smartphone. And that's basically, just click to call. They type in urgent care Columbia, and if you've got a mobile ad format set up in your campaign, which you should, it's just very easy to do, and I show you that in the videos, then you'll get, up to 30% of your clicks will come from the smartphone, and that cuts your costs down. So between the clicks from the smartphone, the clicks from the phone number in the ad, you get phone calls without paying for clicks. And that is why the approximate number of clicks you pay for equals the approximate number of calls you get. So that is an overview of why this strategy makes money. What is that? Get out of there. So, as you can see here, we have high search volume, low cost, low competition, and the potential to make this kind of money per month is right there staring you in the face. You just have to go find one urgent care center in one of these cities that wants more business and is willing to pay what you charge them. And obviously, you don't need to have 50 or 100 counts to make a really good living here. So there's some really good cities here. And you can see it's a variety of big and smaller cities. It's really strange. I mean, you never know from city to city what the search volume is going to be or the cost is going to be. And that's why I did 12 niches, because it's really different. And if you don't happen to like urgent care, or you're not familiar with it or afraid of it, then try another niche. And So this is the cost per click. This is the approximate call charge you could charge in urgent care. I would say this or higher. I mean, I can't imagine them balking at not paying this much for a new customer that walks in the door, because a lot of people have insurance, and as soon as they show that insurance card, the clinic gets excited because there's blood work involved, there's exams, there's tests, there's all kinds of things that they can do very well. And then of course it's a new client that comes back for year after year after year. So this is a pretty good one. And the other niches are, different. They're not this good, but they still work. And so whatever city you're in, if you want to stay in your city, there's probably at least a few niches that will work very well in your city. If you want to go outside your city like I do and go across the country, you can just take each one of these sheets and pick out one of these cities that's near the top. By the way, this sheet goes from the most profitable cities down to the least profitable cities, or cities that you would actually lose money in. And I'm sure you don't want to lose money, so start at the top of the sheet and just work your way down. And each niche is exactly like this. I hope everybody knows that Excel sheet, all the niches are at the bottom of the one sheet too. You click on the niche and the sheet pops up. Some people said they couldn't see the niches, but they're all there at the bottom. You just have to scroll to the right or the left, and I think so. Yeah. Let me see. How am I going to do that? Control plug. Here, let me. Oh, wait a minute. Well, you'd think I'd know that, wouldn't you? With all the technology that I've gone through, but I cannot. Let's see here. There, that's slightly bigger. Little bigger. There we go. That's a little bigger. Okay. So, really, this sheet here kind of tells it all. I mean, it kind of tells you where to go and where not to go, and after that, it's just setting up the pay-per-click campaign, and then of course the if you call it a hard part is finding the right client in the city, which can take a while sometimes. And the next, it's mostly by the cost. I mean, these. Well, if, say in locksmiths, now I know what locksmiths make on a deal. They make, as little as $50 or $60, and they can make as much as, $500 or $600 on a client. But I know they don't make that much money. So if I look at a city and the cost is $20 a click, like Atlanta Locksmith, And I know that when they get a call, they're only going to make $50 or $60, and I charge them $20. By the time they drive out there and spend money, they're making nothing. So I'd walk away from that. On the other side of the coin, if the click cost is $20 for water damage, I may not walk away from that because I know they're going to make at least $3,000 on a new client. So, it's not cut in stone, but you really have to know how much your client is making on a sale. And of course, rarely will they tell you the truth. So you have to know that before you. Yeah. I've almost gone to getting the client first now on all the niches, because it's, even though it's easy to put a site up and easy to use set up the campaign with a Google coupon, it's still some work. It's still some work, and for one reason or another, you may not be able to get the exact right client in that city, and you've got that site sitting there. I've had a few of them just sit there and either didn't have the time or the effort to get the right client. So I think you really want to go after getting the client first, and that's just it's the only hard part of this. And I think the next webinar, I'm going to talk the whole time about client getting, and how you filter them out, and how you charge them, and you want to make sure all that stuff, because you can waste your time, and you've got, you can have this gold mine sitting in front of you like this, but without a client to pay you, it's still not a gold mine. It's nothing. So you have to have several different ways to get the client. Get the client first, and at least get the credit card on file. At least know the credit card is good when you start charging it. Make sure the credit card goes through, and then go from there. And clients don't always tell you the truth, so you have to filter them out. And it's each one of these niches is a little different. So this is obviously a high-end niche here, and talking to doctors or owners of urgent care clinics is going to be completely different than how you talk to a person that owns a tow truck. It's really different, and each has its pluses and minuses. So if you're comfortable talking to doctors, then go this way. If you don't feel comfortable around them, then go kind of the niches that have technicians, towing and locksmiths, plumbers. Plumbers are like in between. They're not high end, but they're not low end either. But see, plumbers don't make that much money either. Sometimes they may get a call and they only make like $75 on the call. If it's just something real simple, so they can't pay a lot either. But an emergency dentist, they're going to make money. An emergency vet is going to make a lot of money. Appliance repair, they don't make a lot of money on a deals. You can't charge them that much, but the phone really rings, and they get a lot of appointments. So the client getting part is really important. This is just kind of empirical. It works. The phone's going to ring. Getting the right client is everything. and getting them kind of addicted to the phone calls is what you want, because then when they put all their budget into you, and you're getting them new clients, they don't leave you. So I believe both ways will work, and that's where the art of sales comes in. You have to kind of talk to the client, get to know them, and see what they're most comfortable with. It's really different for everyone, and you'll probably make more money selling by the lead, but yeah. Yeah, it is. Yes, yes, it is. You just, again, you just have to have their credit card on file and make sure that it's going to go through when you charge it, and that you record. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and have the time to answer them too. I mean, they're not used to answering so many calls. When you some of these, I mean, they've never had this many calls in their whole life. If they've been a very conservative business owner and kind of a one-man show, they don't know what it's like to have 4 or 5 new clients a day. They've never had that. Yeah. Yeah, I think my one student, Brett, that he told me when we got him his first towing client that the guy wasn't completely ready for the calls, because a lot of advertising doesn't work. Let's face it. There's a lot of salespeople out there that brag about their product, their whatever media it is, and nothing happens. So you come along and you tell them you're going to get them 4 or 5 calls a day, and they definitely don't believe you. So then when it happens, they're thrown off track. They don't know what to do. And that's what the guy said. He goes, geez, I didn't know this would work. I better go get my truck fixed. And he said, I've never had this many calls since I've been in business. So that kind of threw Brett off, because he didn't know what to do. The guy, so anyway, we got it fixed out and everything's fine. But yeah, there's some questions that can you handle the calls, and who's going to answer the calls? See, at least the doctor has a receptionist to answer the calls. So you're a little bit covered. But some of these technicians, they answer them, or their wife answers them. They don't have an answering service, which they should. Most of these businesses with technicians, they need to have an answering service. They need to have some type of a routing system for the calls, and so there's a lot to getting a client and training them and teaching them and how to answer the calls. I mean, we can't sell for them. We can't go in this office, even though I have heard of consultants actually doing that, charging extra, going in and in their hometown and actually teaching their staff how to sell. But you really don't have time for that, and it's pretty straightforward. I'm locked out of my car. I need my car towed. Or in case of a vet, you're looking, if your dog is seriously sick and it's after hours, they just need somebody right now. Same thing with a plumber. You can get a lot of emergency calls with a plumber too. So But it's all about getting that client and developing a relation. There is some relationship building with this, not as much as other types of work, but there's a little bit of relationship building with the client. And so that's what we're going to go over more in the next webinar. And I just wanted to make sure that people totally understand why this will produce a profit, not just a click, but real money in your bank account. So, any questions right now? That Jeff, do you see any? Or let's see, chat. Okay. Okay. Abs. Yes, I like that one. I guess the next phase would be if some members just really don't like getting that client or putting up with the sales part, the persistence, because let's face it, you got to track some of these people down. You got to call them a bunch of times before you talk to them. We may in the future just decide to, since it's all set up, just get very interested people in lead generation and getting leads, and then kind of sell these people to our members. If anyone's interested, we'll do it as reasonable as we can, of course. So that way it kind of cuts down the pain of chasing the right client a little bit anyway, if people want that or need it. But if you haven't gotten lead outcome, I think you should really try it. It's in the members area. That's what Jeff and I have been using for quite a while. It's got a few features that other autoresponder programs don't have, and it's the easiest way I've found to get at least a warm lead. They don't close, but to get a warm lead, it's pretty easy to do, and you get 30 days free, so there's absolutely no risk. You just try it 30 days and can send out a bunch of emails and see how it works. If you like it, then you can start paying for it the month after. But that way works great. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, almost all the companies that sell phone numbers have that. It's a whisper call, so to speak. That's what they call it. I mean, Callfire does, and they all do. All this software that we recommend. it's a whisper call that it kind of works, but you never know if they're just going to take the leads and use them, and you would think that Oh yeah, that's for sure. And there's really there's really nothing wrong with that. And most clients want you to do that. They always want something for nothing. And in the beginning, I guess that is a good way. You just have to, again, still be careful. I wouldn't give them, and I did that in the beginning. I've given them, sometimes the phone started ringing so fast that they got 15 leads, and then they, for one reason or another, they didn't continue. So I would just give them a couple, just a couple, and then just stop the campaign, call them up, and say, how do you like those leads? Because they just, you just don't want to waste your time on them. And that's why in the beginning you have to, kind of filter them out. Talk to them, have the right type of questions to filter them, and we'll get into that on the next one too. Eventually, maybe we'll have some type of form that they have to fill out so that we can filter them out. Because the email way is, which I haven't done in a while, but and you send out 300 or 400 emails, scraped emails, like I talk about, and you can have that right on the landing page. If you want 2 free new clients, fill the form out, and they fill the form out. But then you have to build the site, set up the pay-per-click campaign, make the phone ring. It's, it's not hard, but it is work. So, yeah. Right. Exactly. And that's why, the round robin effect in these 2 different softwares that we recommend or you're able to use. CallFire does not have a round robin, so to speak. They just have CallFire is free to use, but you can put when you forward the phone number, there's a place to put several different phone numbers, but they don't call each phone number. The first one that answers, they stop with CallFire. That's it. But with the round robin, it will go through all 3 phone numbers. It'll send a lead to the first one and the second one and the third one and come back again. So if and it's I'm testing all the different places to buy phone numbers, and I'm getting close to settling in on one that I really like that works. One of them actually has round robin. You can buy the phone number cheap and everything, and it has a keyword ability attached to it. It'll track where the click and the call came from by keyword. So I'm working with that now, and I would think for more difficult niches that I think that'll help. But I just started using it, so I'm not going to recommend it yet. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's who it is. It was one of our top affiliates. His software. So yeah, I just set that up, and I got a really good deal on the software that I can use, and I'm going to start using it and see if that increases the calls. But you don't really need it. I've never used it. I've been using CallFire all this time, to be honest with you. So you don't need a sophisticated phone number or software to even make money here. You can just use CallFire. I've been using it for quite a while. So it records you need to record the calls. Don't buy phone numbers someplace where you can't record them, because that's how you get paid, showing the client. And the doggy. Hey. Jeez. Dachshund. Harley. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. You just have to have it organized and be able to send invoices out and everything. So yes. Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah. We've all heard that. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, yeah, they do. Um, and that's, kind of next. Right. And that's the next thing. Yeah, it's go ahead. Wow. 200,000. Oh my God. Mm, yeah. Wow. It does. That's that's right. That's right. And that's the only, if there is a hard part, just finding that right client. That's got money and believes in online marketing. And so, yeah, the other part that I'm going to have is these 12 niches with the new theme. I'm still working on getting all the landing pages like really set properly with all the calls to action for each niche and the right graphics. And when I get all them done, then we'll probably show you guys, so you don't have to set up that first niche site, and probably do a webinar on the theme eventually, because there's so much to it. By the way, I just put another video training on the theme in both the monthly niche and the silver platter niche. It's kind of a more of a basic setup to it. So there's 2 video training of the theme in there, and there's one on the this page here that we're looking at. So yeah, the easier it is to get that perfect site up, the more cities you can go into. I mean, it's that simple. And as we know, copying a site doesn't always work with backup creator or whatever you're using. There always seems to be a niche in it. So the faster you can do that, the more cities you can go into. And so those are the things that I'm working on, getting the landing page perfect and improving upon it. And Google AdWords, I think they said, the 22nd of this month, you have to have an enhanced campaign for pay-per-click. I mean, they will. So if anybody's running the old campaigns in AdWords without the enhanced, they will automatically switch you over on the 22nd. So basically, the only change is you can't put your phone number in the body of the ad. You have to use it as an extension. So, FYI, you might as well go in your campaign, switch everything over to enhanced campaign. Now it just one click, and it's no big deal. But so that's the only changes coming up in pay-per-click, and you just have to use an ad extension for the phone number. But there's so many things in there that you can do to make it better. And we'll probably eventually have a more advanced webinar on pay-per-click too, as things go along. But that's the whole business. It's just finding that perfect storm where your costs are low and your gross revenue is high. So okay. Okay. Well, hairdressers, it's tough. I mean, you'd probably get a bunch of phone calls for them, but you probably can't charge that much per lead, unless it's possibly a high-end salon. They might pay you a good amount for a salon. And the restaurant, okay. And the restaurants are they're really good for mobile. I mean, I might do if I would set up a pay-per-click campaign, lead gen for a restaurant, I might just do an all mobile campaign, and not even set up any ads for desktop or laptop, because the cost is lower, and you may get enough calls just from mobile for a restaurant. But a high-end restaurant would be better, because they can pay more, and just try it with mobile. Sometimes, just start with mobile, see what happens. So that's my comments on restaurants. And I've never really done pay-per-click that much for restaurants, but I would probably just start with mobile and go from there. So go ahead, Jeff. Uh-huh. Right. Uh-huh. Right. Yeah, that's a good idea. Um, right. Yeah, that's a really good way to do it. And in the pay-per-click campaign, of course, you can set how much you're willing to spend per day, and that's another way to control it. If somebody pays you, say, even $400 a month, and the cost per click is, one of these here, um, say it's like $2.16 or something like that. Well, you can set your daily cost to, say $6. So 6 times 30 is $180, and it's usually around that. Or you can set it to 5 or 4, and then you never have to worry about it, because once it reaches that plateau, the ads will automatically shut off. The problem is that if your clicks are too high, you may only get a couple clicks a day, but that's okay, because you're still going to get some people. They're going to call off the ad, and that's what people don't understand, is that you gotta pay Google enough in the beginning to get your ad up where people call from the ad. So in the beginning you gotta probably set your bid price to, right at one of these numbers here, like on this sheet. You got to, just go in and set it to like 350. I mean, every single keyword, you just say, I'm going to spend 350. And if you do that, there's so little competition that probably the next day or the following day, you'll be 1, 2, or 3 on pay-per-click. And then after you're there and you get some clicks, you get some authority with Google, then, you just start, your costs will actually go down. I mean, sometimes, they say that the pay-per-click cost is like $15. And all of a sudden you look and you're getting clicks for $3 or $4. It doesn't, there's no rhyme or reason sometimes. So, but in the beginning, you got to bite the bullet, get your ad up there, get some clicks, get the authority, then you're set. Then you're set. So, but you can control your cost by amount per day, depending on the click. So you can say, guy's paying me $400 or $450. I'm not going to spend more than $150. So clicks are $2. You say, I'm going to set my daily spend to $5. That's it. Then you just go away from it. Yeah, you control it. Right. The towing niche is the best one for that. I don't know why the phone rings off the hook, but and you can go in big cities with towing. I mean, I went into Dallas. I tried locksmith in Dallas, and it didn't do much at all because the cost was $20. So I figured that would happen with towing. Well, I go in there with towing, and I think I got 15 calls the first day and a half. I wasn't ready for it. Client wasn't ready. So in that city, if you go in a big city with towing, you should probably get at least 2, if not 3 clients from the very start, right from the very start. And that way, if it really hits, then you're covered. And if it doesn't, well, you're still covered. So, but other niches. Like the limo niche, you don't have to worry about that because you don't get tons of calls there. You might get, 25 calls a month for a guy, but that's enough to keep him happy for limos. But you won't get a lot. So it varies. That's why you gotta start with one niche, learn that one, and then try another. They're all a little bit different, and but there's so many cities in each niche, you can just keep going. But don't go into, if you just look at the sheet here, it's just going to tell you where not to go. So good. I guess everybody kind of understands this the sheet and how it works. I think it does. And the next webinar is, yeah. Okay. Uh, Somewhat, yeah. Not in a long time. It's been a while ago. I don't. There may be new ones out. I guess I got to try them. And I don't have any specific one that I never found one that worked perfect yet. I don't know, for some reason. If anybody knows one, let us know or let me know, because it does, it'll save time. All these little things will save time. That's kind of why I did the theme, because this particular theme, it converts the format to really good format quickly. And before, I was kind of having to do it manually. And you have to do not start your campaign without your site in a good mobile format with a click to call button right at the top of your landing page on a smartphone. You got to have that. Don't start it without it, because you'll miss calls. Okay. Thanks. Good night.